everyone, my name is Keely. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. And it is one of my favorite weeks of the entire year when my two favorite authors come out with books. We have Riley Sager and Ashley Poston. So in this video, I am obviously going to be reading their new releases. Riley Sager came out with a Vengeance, and Ashley Poston came out with Sounds Like Love, and I am so excited. These two are my favorite authors of all time. Riley Sager, I think, is the best writer I've ever read. His writing is just so good and digestible, and I absolutely love it. And his stories are just so captivating every time. And then Ashley Poston has healed me in ways I didn't know I could be healed. Her stories just mean so much to me. So enjoy this video and let's get on into it. My favorite week of the year. Hello. I don't know if you can see this, but it is currently Sunday, June 8th. 2 days before Riley Sager's book comes out. And I'm currently at home and I ran out of the books to read that I brought. I finished them, so I was like, I'm gonna go to Walmart and pick up a new book. I didn't see anything. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna come home with anything. But then I saw this 2 days early with a Vengeance. 2 days early. And this is like small town Walmart. You don't expect them to have books. I honestly went and I wasn't expecting much because they never have a good selection. 2 days early with a Vengeance. I'm so excited. I'm gonna start this later today. Okay, my hair is still wet from my shower, but I have my first update for you for With a Vengeance. I am now 100 pages in, and the setup of this one is quite interesting, and I'm still wondering if it's going to be for me or not exactly, but let me give you a synopsis. We follow this woman named Anna Matheson, and the year is currently 1954. And back in 1942, 6 people had a hand in destroying her and her family's life. So now she wants vengeance. She wants revenge. So she has invited all of these people to come on this train. She invited them anonymously, so they really don't know why they're there. So she invited them. They are all on this train, and it is a 13-hour train ride from Philadelphia to Chicago. There are no stops, and it's just a setup for revenge, basically. And somebody dies, and that was never supposed to happen. So this is really interesting too because we are broken up into sections by hour. So let me try to find one for you. So it'll be like this. It'll tell you the time and how many hours are left to go on the train ride. And it is an interesting premise. However, it is reminding me a lot of like Agatha Christie, and I'm pretty sure this might be like taken as inspiration from Agatha Christie. He might have said that as well, and I hate Agatha Christie stories, so I'm hoping like this one does something different and unique and really keeps me captivated the entire time. Right now, with all the characters we get, so you have Anna Matheson and like some of her like henchmen, people that are helping, and then you have the 6 people she is trying to like get revenge on. And I was worried that it would get a little confusing because there are a lot of characters kind of thrown at you right at the beginning, but each of the characters, each of the 6, are so different and unique from each other that it's very easy to tell who is who, like, pretty quickly. I remember as soon as we were told all the names, I was like, oh, that's gonna be a lot. And then we started getting glimpses of each of them, and I was like, oh, they're very different, so it's easy to keep straight every character. But so far, 100 pages in, as always, Riley Sager's writing is just so captivating and really easy to get into. He is my favorite writer in general. I think his writing style is perfect for me, and it's everything I want when I'm reading, and I just feel like I fly through his books because of his writing. I'm really interested to get to know more of the characters. Obviously, because of what they did back in 1942, they are very unlikable people. And then Anna, she is also like morally gray because of what she's doing, but you can't help but root for her. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen. I am almost at the section that has, let's see, 10 hours left to go. So I love that it's broken up like that. It makes you kind of want to read like a section an hour just to kind of go like as the train is going. But so far I'm having good feelings, good vibes about it, and I'm so curious how it's gonna go and how it's gonna be different from stories we've seen like this before, because you know if Riley Sager's gonna do anything, it's gonna be different. All right, I am now halfway through With a Vengeance. That puts me on page 191. and I have some thoughts. So I started developing like this theory of what was going on, because truthfully, it could be any person on this train that is like killing people. But I do have a theory, and towards the end of this last part I read, that theory is kind of being proven in a very obvious way. So I feel like it's gonna get turned on its head and I'm probably completely wrong, or my theory is right and just like how it goes about everything is gonna be different. I'm not sure, but I'm just curious because all of these people on this train are bad people. So it's one of those situations where all of them can be to blame. So who's really the culprit here? And there's also some surprises that are popping up as well. I don't want to give anything away, but I really do like our main character, Anna. She has been through it. The thing that happened with her family is brutal, and I do not blame her in the slightest for doing things how she's doing them. I'm actually quite impressed. She is going about it this way and isn't just going like on a murdering rampage and killing everyone in their homes or something. Like she's actually like thought out this plan of getting them on the train and what's gonna happen from there. But once again, I do love how it goes hour by hour, and it really makes the reading experience nice when there are like sections to get to, because it makes you want to like keep reading, to be like, oh, let me get to this section and then I'll watch a YouTube video, or let me get to this section and I'll take a nap or something. But it makes it go by quickly. I will say, I am at this point halfway through feeling like, and I hate to say it, that this is going to be my least favorite Riley Sager. I feel like this one is more mystery than thriller or horror. I feel like it's more of a whodunit. It is a whodunit, and I don't really like those stories. Again, whodunit is very Agatha Christie, and I hate her stories. They're so boring. And I just feel like maybe I'm not a mystery person. I'm a thriller or horror person for sure. I need to be a little bit more excited. I am intrigued, but I do want to feel my heart racing a little bit. And at this point, I'm like, all right, who's next? Like, what's gonna happen next? I am excited for the classic Riley Sager twists that are always at the end of his novels, when he throws like 15 of them in back to back to back. I am curious how that's gonna be done in this story, because I don't know, it just feels like it's gonna be like one grand reveal, like at the end of a mystery, but he always adds in something more. So I'm curious how he's gonna do that. And I don't know, I'm still expecting he's gonna completely surprise me. But as of right now, like I said, this is feeling like my least favorite. I am still enjoying it because it's Riley Sager and his writing is still everything I could ever want. But as of right now, halfway through, not loving it. All right, to my final update before the end, because I am on page 281. I have exactly 100 pages left, and my thoughts from last time haven't really changed at all. The more I read of this, the more it's solidified that I just really don't like mystery books and whodunits. If you love whodunits, then this might be your book. So because of that, it's probably going to be my least favorite Riley Sager. I mean, that was already solidified, I feel like probably halfway through. I'm so curious to see what end he has in store for us though, because that could also make or break it in the end too. But it just kind of shows that even my favorite author, Riley Sager, can't do mystery that I love, because I don't really love mystery. I need a little bit of like thrilling aspects, maybe some spooky horror aspects as well, which he has done so well in his other books. So this one, you can definitely tell he took a lot of inspiration from classic mysteries, which is really great and awesome if that's your thing. Not my thing. But I'm so curious how he's gonna wrap everything up, especially in these last 100 pages. I just have a feeling everything is going to get wild. I really do love his main character, Anna. If there's one thing I love about Riley Sager, well, there's a lot because he's my favorite author, but one of the things he does best is his main characters, specifically his female main characters. I just always love them and I'm always rooting for them, and this one is no different. But yes, 100 pages left. Right now I am watching the NCAA track and field championships, and then in about an hour Love is Blind comes on, so I will be watching that. So it looks like I could potentially be finishing this one today. So that's also a good sign, because even though this is probably going to be my least favorite Riley Sager, I read this entire book in a day. So that kind of tells you, like, it's still really intriguing, still really fast-paced and easy for me to read, and I'm so eager to get to the end, even if it's not my favorite. But reading a book in a day is not a small feat. Alright, my final wrap-up of With a Vengeance. I finished this right after that last clip I filmed, but it has been a few days since then, and honestly, this hasn't stuck with me. It's not very memorable to me. This is, like I said many times, my least favorite Riley Sager book. I am gonna settle on a 3 stars. I still read it very, very quickly. I love his writing so much, and I loved his writing in here. I loved his main character a whole lot. The isolated setting on the train was really fascinating as well. However, like I have stated many times, this just reminded me too much of an Agatha Christie novel, obviously, because it is a whodunit and kind of like a and then there were none. So again, if that is your thing, then this might be your favorite Riley Sager. I actually told my mom that she needs to read this because she loves Agatha Christie, and I was like, Mom, you're probably going to love this, because she knows how much I love Riley Sager, and I have tried so many times to read Agatha Christie because my mom loves her, and I have just hated every book from her, and this just reminded me too much of that. So 3 stars for Riley Sager, my least favorite of his, but still enjoyed it. I don't hate it by any means. Honestly, there had to be a least favorite of his, and this one takes the cake for that. It is a release day for Ashley Poston's new book. I am so excited. So I do have a pre-order coming in the mail. It's actually a signed pre-order. I don't know if it's arriving today or when it should be arriving. It says that it has shipped, but I had already planned to go to Barnes & Noble on release day because there is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and it has a different cover color and everything. So I am going to go there, and I am so excited. But first, I have a nail appointment. I'm getting my nails done. So this is what we're working with right now. We did like a yellow chrome. You could see it's very overgrown, but they're still like really well put together, if that makes sense. I'm excited. I'm doing it 2 different colors today. I could not decide on one color, so I'm doing 2 different colors, and I will show you the reveal afterwards. But after that, then I will be heading to Barnes & Noble, and I will read as much as I can today. I also am planning on annotating this book. I have annotated the last few Ashley Poston releases, and it's just wonderful. I am so ready to have my heart shattered and sob. I have sobbed in like all of her books so far, or all of her adult romances. I think I might have teared up in her young adult stuff, but I have given every Ashley Poston book a 5 stars, except for Heart of Iron. I think I gave that one 4 stars. I love that book. And then one of her short stories, I didn't like that one. But her full-length novels, I'm just so excited. She is my favorite author of all time. I would have loved to go to her book signing. Yesterday she was in Houston, Texas, but obviously I'm in Colorado right now, which sucks because I'm going to be in Texas next week. But one day I will get to meet her again. I did meet her in 2017, but that was obviously before her adult romances and how her books kind of like healed me and like saved me from my trauma. So I would love to meet her again. Last year when I read A Novel Love Story, I think it was that book, I wrote a letter to her at the back of my book, and I took a picture and I sent it to her, and she responded. And so like I would just love to get to meet her again now that I've read her adult romances. But for now, nails and then Barnes & Noble. Alright, I got my nails done. This is what I decided to go with. Like I said, I could not decide between one color, so I got pink and orange, and I love them. They are so cute, so summery, and I'm obsessed. They also go really well with Sounds Like Love. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I was walking around the store, and at first I could not find it, and I was like, I don't want to have to ask someone, and then I turned a corner and oh, there it was. Clearly this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so it has a blue cover instead of, I believe the original is pink. I can't remember what else is exclusive about it. There might be like a bonus thing from Ashley herself, but I don't want to like flip too much and see what's in here. Oh, okay, yeah, there are some like Ashley Poston stuff. At first I thought I spoiled myself, but I'm so excited. I cannot wait. And I'm just ready. I really hope it makes me cry because there's nothing I love more than crying over an Ashley Pasta novel and feeling completely obliterated and healed afterwards. So I'm going to start this today. I am not going to finish it today because I'm going to savor it. I don't want to rush through it. And look how nice my nails look with this, specifically my pink ones. Like, beautiful. Next on the agenda, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch, which my favorite words to hear. I love storms. I love severe weather. It's just great. It's wonderful unless it's like hurting you. It's not so wonderful, but I just love severe weather. Actually, I woke up at 4:45 this morning to a really bad hailstorm, which was really cool. Luckily, my car is okay. It was in the garage, but I'm hoping it's going to be great and stormy while I read today. I am actually thinking about driving through the animal refuge that's by my house, and maybe we can see some bison. I love bisons. First and foremost, my favorite animals are penguins. And then I think number 2 recently has become like buffalo/bison. So we'll see. But I think I'm going to drive through there. It's like a 45-minute drive through the whole like refuge. And hopefully we'll see some good animals. And if we do, if I'm close enough, I'll take some footage. But other than that, the rest of the day is just reading this and hopefully crying and annotating. And this is becoming my whole personality. So I'm excited. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They are so close to the road. They are so close. Look at that. Look at the zoom. Oh my gosh. They're stunning. 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 Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that one just laying down. I'm trying to be quiet so they don't get freaked out. And there's one over here. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Alright, I am now 100 pages into It Sounds Like Love, so I can now give you a synopsis. So in this one we follow a young woman named Joni who is a songwriter, and she has written several hits for like major celebrities. However, she is kind of in a major writer's block right now because she is dealing with a lot of personal stuff, a lot of family stuff that is really, really sad and really tragic. I've already teared up at a lot of the scenes, and I just know it's going to absolutely break my heart by the end of this. So she lives in Los Angeles, but because of all of her family stuff, she is going home to North Carolina, where her parents own this music hall called The Revelry. She grew up going to this hall. It's kind of well known. A lot of very famous singers for the past decades have sung there, and this is her home. And when she goes home, she is trying to kind of navigate this new life that she's going to be living, because there's a lot of changes, a lot of tragedy, a lot of anxieties for the future, when she starts hearing a melody in her head that comes along with a man's voice. And her and this man have a telepathic connection. The really cool thing is, it's one of my favorite tropes where it's kind of like this secret pen pal trope where they don't know who the other person is, but we as the reader do, and so you're just kind of waiting for them to figure it out, and it's like giddy and like kicking your feet because you're just like, I know something you don't. And I just love that trope, and I love like the telepathic like magicalness that's happening in here too. It's really interesting. And the fact that she's in a writing slump and is kind of starting to hear this melody in her head and she doesn't know where it's coming from. I just love Ashley Poston so much. Like, I struggle to describe how she makes me feel. I've mentioned so many times before, she has healed me, she's made me understand more things about myself than I ever thought I would. But reading her new book and jumping back into her writing feels like coming home. That's the best way I can describe it. I feel like I'm back at home, and it's just so good and heartwarming. I love her writing. I love her characters. I love the little magic touch that she puts into her real life stories, and they're also just so hard-hitting and talk about real topics. These are these feel like real people, and I genuinely just love it. I love that this one also surrounds music. So this is kind of like a book for music lovers. Her previous release was a book for book lovers, and this one is definitely for music lovers. And I am a lover of music. I do sing. I come from a musical family on my mom's side. They're all very musical. My mom is a worship leader. Like, we sang. And I have a lot of musicians that I credit to saving my life, specifically like 21 Pilots, and so it's really cool to read a book about people who love music as well. And I'm just loving this. I'm excited to see how more of the romance comes into play and more of like the songwriting aspects. And then I'm also, weirdly enough, really excited for the heartbreaking moments, because Ashley Poston just does them so well. And every time she writes something heartbreaking, that's when like something about me is revealed, and so I'm excited for that as well. But yes, 100 pages in, it's going well. I also fly by in her books. I read her books so much quicker than any other book I read. Like, I'll just sit down and I'll be like, oh, I have 30 pages. This is probably gonna take me 30 minutes. I just read 30 pages in 20 minutes. Like, I don't do that normally. Like, I'm a relatively fast reader, but like her books, I read on like 6 times speed or something. But yes, as of right now, I am leaving for physical therapy in about 10 minutes, and then after that, all I am doing today is I'm probably just going to read, especially because Love Island is not on tonight. It is Wednesday, so that means I have more reading time, because I won't be, you know, crying or crashing out over Love Island. I'll be crying and crashing out over this book instead. Alright, I have an update for you for Sounds Like Love. First, I'm not feeling well, so I'm in bed, but I am halfway through. I'm on page 178, and I just truly love Ashley Poston and her writing and the worlds and characters she creates. I just see myself so much in her stories. I will say I am not as in love with this one as her other ones, at least so far. Things could change, especially when like the emotional impact hits. I feel like that's when she really, really, really gets me, but I do love her characters so much. I really, really love the banter between the love interests. And then our main girl, Joni, her best friend, that's also a very prominent storyline in here. And so I loved the added element of friendship in this as well. And I am just dreading the heartbreak that's going to come, but I'm also weirdly looking forward to it as well. There have been a few lines in here that I'm just like, is this play about me? Like, hello? First of all, Joni typically goes by Joe, J-O. And Joe is my middle name, and most people in real life call me Keeley Joe. So when I see that she is being called Joe, or if someone's like, hey Joe, blah blah blah, I feel like I'm being called out, because Joe is such like a big thing of who I am and my personality. I was named after my dad, and so seeing her and her dad in this, and then the name Joe added in, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, her family in here is so precious. She has a brother and then her mom and dad, and the relationship between her mom and dad remind me so much of my parents, and so I know the heartbreak in here is going to hit even more, because the family dynamic reminds me of my family. And the last thing I actually highlighted in here reminded me, again, so much of me, and it just says, she was trying on dresses, and it just says, it accented my paleness and the smattering of freckles across my shoulders. Like, clearly I'm a pale girl, and that is something that I have struggled with my entire life. I've been made fun of constantly for it. Even 30 years later, people still think they can make comments about it, and so just to see this main character, Joe, fall in love with her paleness in just like a small, simple way. Like, it may not stand out to anyone else, but something about me is like, I had to learn to fall in love with my paleness throughout my life. And so seeing that, and then the smattering of freckles across her shoulders, my freckles have come out to play, and it's so funny because I actually posted about that the other day, just like running in the sun during summertime, and I was like, wow, my freckles are like really coming out. And so when I read that, I was like, Ashley, are you in my head? Which is so funny because the characters in this book are in each other's head. Oh my gosh, I swear, every time she writes a book, she's like, how can I relate this to Keeley's life in this current moment? There's also like a few scenes with like Joe and the guy that broke her heart, and I'm just like, am I ready? Am I ready for that? Because recently things have happened to me in my life that I'm just like, get my highlight ready. Like, I am so ready for Ashley to write my soul on this page. But yeah, so halfway through, and I don't know if I'm going to finish it today just because I am not feeling well. I kind of just feel like laying down and watching TV. I don't know why my stomach is hurting so bad right now. But yeah, I am just taking my sweet old time with this, and every time I open it, I just get lost in her words, lost in her writing, and I'm just obsessed, and it feels so good to be home. Unfortunately, I did not love this. I hate to use the word disappointed because I didn't hate it or dislike it by any means. It's just not something I'm ever going to want to reread, and every single one of her other novels that I've read, I think about rereading every single day. In fact, about halfway through this, I was just kind of at the point where I was like, I can't wait to be done so I can read a different book, and that's never a good feeling you want to have. You can actually tell by my annotations there, they kind of stop like about halfway because I just didn't feel the need to annotate anymore. I just didn't feel like anything was sticking out to me. There was nothing that I was like, oh, that's really good, I need to remember that forever. I liked the characters. I didn't dislike them, that's the thing. I didn't dislike them, but they're just really not gonna stick with me. Like, characters in other stories, and her books in particular, I hate to compare like all of her books, but those characters are with me for the rest of my life. These ones I actually would get annoyed with at some points, specifically like the best friend character, but I just didn't love them. I never really felt a connection between the two love interests in here. I never felt a connection to the story, and honestly I kind of got tired of like the musician part of it, and maybe it's because I love music but I'm not a musician, and so I don't really care about that aspect of music, I guess. That's what I've learned from this anyway. The writing was still beautiful. It still felt like coming home. It still felt like Ashley Poston, but I just was never connected, and you can really tell I wasn't because I never cried. I cried more today watching the newest season of America's Got Talent than I did in this book, which is saying a lot because her books usually make me sob. Like when I read The Dead Romantics for the first time, I cried for an hour afterwards just from the thought of finishing the book. And this one, I couldn't wait for it to be done. So that kind of tells you all you need to know. Again, didn't dislike it. It's just going to be one of those things where I like forgot that this is one of her books because it's just not memorable to me. It doesn't stick out. I am going to give it 3 stars. Overall, I think I am more, again, I hate using the word, disappointed with this one than I am with Riley Sager's. I think I actually enjoyed With a Vengeance more than this one, which is so shocking to me. Not how I thought this vlog would go, but again, just like I said with a Vengeance, these authors had to have a least favorite book, and unfortunately they both put them out in the same month. But you know, hoping for better things next year. But again, love this book. I'm still gonna own multiple copies of it, and of course obviously there were some moments that did stick out, just mainly in the first half as opposed to the second half. But that is it for this video and for my 2 most anticipated releases that didn't go as planned, but that's okay, it does happen. If you have made it this far, go ahead and leave the train emoji for With a Vengeance. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all my social media links will be down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!